Hey, if you're joining us, that means you probably listened to the one earlier this week. So welcome back, weirdos. And here we go! Yeah. And if you did listen earlier this week, you know that next week, Russ and I are going to be doing a little skit for you. That sounded weird. We're going to be doing voices.
Actually, I said that. I got to correct it. We got to kind of work something out, I guess, on air. Because next week, Wednesday,
Sure.
it'd be tough to get together to record.
Why?
Because we have something going on that night.
What?
Well, I have to do AV for an event.
Oh my goodness. What's AV, you nerd?
Well, let me tell you here. Audio visual.
Okay.
Doing the running video for an event.
Oh my.
So we got to figure
Do they
out.
know?
No, I'm just.
You're just showing up.
I set up some cameras. I just went there myself and
Okay.
put some cameras up, and I'm just gonna sit back.
You're air quote running it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
End of air quote.
They'll thank me,
There you go.
especially when they get the bill.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, we have that going on. So I guess we would need to figure out.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Well, I just wanted to let the audience know that
We're gonna get you something.
diminish your expectations a bit.
They always do when they click on Menacing Podcast.
That's the ultimate form of diminishing your expectations. Well,
They're like, look at all of the sweet podcasts that I follow. And once they're all caught up with everything else, they're like, I guess I'll do the Menacing Podcast. That's why we have tens of listeners.
the funny thing is, it's probably my fault because when I'm out and about around people,
Yeah.
and word starts spreading about the podcast because some of our listeners are friends of mine.
Okay.
Like
Well,
acquaintances,
used to be.
other people I've met.
They want to distance themselves from you as
I want them to.
best as they can.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, I'm all for that. They should disavow distance. But whenever they start talking about it, I get very much so aloof about the topic. I'm like, yeah, it's a podcast. It's just a hobby thing, really. I should be, like, I am not the type of person, I should be going like, yeah, it's a great podcast, it's hilarious. But
Yeah.
I downplay it.
I think I get what you're saying because people will talk to me about it and I'm like, yeah, it's just for fun.
It's a thing
like,
we do. Like,
it's for fun.
we have our moments.
Yeah.
We're
trying to be funny.
Yeah, we're just, well, what do you talk about? We just talk about, whatever we feel like.
Yeah.
It's never, it's always funny to me because it's like, I should be advertising this thing.
No wonder.
But I feel like I'm in the spotlight and it's like, I want to get out of the conversation as quickly as possible, which to be fair, is how I prefer to run all conversations, just to get out of it as unscathed and as quickly as I possibly can.
So you've really been like the front runner for the podcast.
I should be, but
like,
I have not.
You have really been pushing.
I've been really selling it.
Yeah, you really have been.
Listen, I don't want you to listen to it if you don't want to. It's pretty much garbage. We just do it for fun. Don't tell your friends about it. Yeah. But then I get on the podcast, I'm like, tell your friends. It's like, I don't actually believe that, and apparently in real life.
Yeah, so listeners, if you see poor Russell out there, don't talk to him about the podcast. He'll freeze up.
I'll freeze up. I will not sell it well.
He will downplay and degrade the podcast.
Yeah, the other two hosts are stupid, but I put up with them. We have a little thing. I guess we get some laughs out of it.
Yeah.
I carry the show mostly, of course.
Sure.
But yeah. So don't. This is why I don't work in sales.
Yes.
Our product's okay. There's better ones out there.
It's made in China. It will. You know what? Go somewhere else.
Don't waste your money. You can get 5 of these from the other guy for half the price.
Exactly. Well, maybe you should work for Amazon then.
That's what Amazon. I could. That's a sales job. They just give stuff away.
Yeah, they basically do.
They're like, oh, something messed up on your order. Keep everything and reorder it. We'll refund your money. That's the beauty of that's the beauty of being a giant corporation like Amazon. You're just like, money is no problem.
Yeah.
We're going to get it.
Yeah.
We're always going to have money coming in.
Yeah.
Because you can't live without us.
Yeah. Now, and not only that, you can't live without us because you've shut down all of the malls. Where else are you going to shop for your everything?
Malls. I went to a mall the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Dead.
Yeah?
It was like from a zombie movie, essentially.
Like what?
Fairly certainly.
Hello.
Something going to happen here? Yeah.
One squeaky wheel on a cleaning cart, and you're like,
oh, boy.
This is how horror movies start.
This is the moment. Yeah, but malls they used to be like the cornerstone of civilization.
That used to be my cornerstone of trying to pick up a girl.
Well, naturally.
Yeah.
Right?
Now we can do it online.
You don't even need to leave your house. I mean, now you can't do it because you're married.
I'm married. I'm not trying to. Yeah, I'm not trying to pick up a. No.
Just in case your wife decides to tune in one time.
Yes.
I'm glad I took that brochure home for the funeral home open house.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's dead. But I'm that used to be from Arizona, from Amazon too.
Yes. Black Friday deals, I tell you what.
And Cyber Monday.
And Cyber Mondays. But that used to be the place where we'd always go with with our classmates, our friends.
Yeah.
Meet
at the mall.
It'd be meet at the mall. You go to the food court. They always had the best food.
Really? Look back on it really hard.
No, I don't want to because I want to remember that it was like no. I would rather live in denial that
that's when your stomach can handle the food. You go there now, you're like, oh, sweet merciful.
Oh, I can't have this too. I have acid reflux.
I have acid reflux now.
Where are the Tums? Do you sell Tums here?
What'd you have? A water.
It was weird. It was red. It's like rusty water. But
soda.
I loved the knockoff Panda Express that used to be in the A&W.
Yeah.
You never knew. What did they get? What did they sell? American cuisine?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was
nobody knew what an A&W actually sold, but everybody was like, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah, oh absolutely."
The food court still exists.
Yeah,
but it's just not the same.
No, it's not.
You used to get a tray full of food, and this is probably Biden's fault, but you used to get a tray full of food,
Obama.
Or Trump's fault.
Oh, sure.
Tray full of food for like $5.
Yeah.
It was like they filled it up.
And and I know the place that you're talking about, and it actually fed you like that food. But you had food.
Ironically, you could have fed a family at a time when you didn't have a family. Now you can hardly feed a family.
And you have a family. Yeah. But yeah, that's the sad thing. People are like, "Well, I don't need them all." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, well, where are your kids gonna go when they want to meet other kids?
Yeah.
Oh, they can come over to my house. Okay, that's fine. That might work for you, but for me, go away.
You're not to let your kids go to other people's houses.
Well, I don't mind, but like, if my kids want to have all their friends over, I'm gonna be like, no.
I don't want them here. No, absolutely not.
No.
And my wife's like, you here most of the time.
Yeah. My wife's like, I want to be the cool parents. I don't.
I'm not looking to be that. No.
Yeah. I actually had, I had another parent last week tell me that I look like I would be a very good bouncer. She's like, wow, you look very scary, and I wouldn't want to mess with you. And I'm going on the ice to coach kids. She's like, you look very scary.
As you push one of the kids down.
Do better.
Come on. That's not how you skate.
Why'd you fall? Why are you hitting yourself? But she, like, just randomly, she turns around and she goes, I noticed you would be a very good bouncer. Look very scary.
That's an interesting thing to say. I don't think... Why?
I don't know.
She must be an alcoholic if the first thing she goes to is bouncer.
I mean, I know her. Like,
listen here, pal. You'd make a pretty good bouncer at some of the places I frequent.
Yeah, exactly. No, she's her and her husband. Me and my wife have hung out with them because our sons played on the same team.
Could you say partner, please? It's just a little triggering when you say husband. That denotes
like husband and wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Ooh, trigger.
Yeah. Could you do partner?
No.
Significant other.
SO.
SO is
so
abbreviations.
Shortening things.
Who's that? SO.
Your significant other. So.
Yes.
No. So, but yeah, I was told I would be a very good bouncer because I look scary. I'm like, okay. So I'm really hoping that I can use that to my advantage. If like my kids want to bring friends over, I'll just like stand at the door and look at them very stern. Just be like,
not even say a word yet. Just gonna do a grunt.
Yeah, like a growl.
Growl. Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, Mom.
I forgot something.
As their mom peels out of my cul-de-sac.
I forgot we just had Taco Bell. I gotta go home.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You can go out by where the dog does it too.
And that's called a callback.
Yes. Yeah.
To Wednesday's episode.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I got.
I'm explaining this for the audience, not for you.
Okay.
Mostly for you. So I imagine you as the type that would sit out on the front, maybe with a shotgun, kind of just draped over its lap. Maybe not loaded. Maybe it's got the, it's opened.
Yeah.
Like it's a double barrel and it's opened across your lap there.
Yeah.
But you got the shells available.
Well, I was going to say I would probably have a shell in my mouth like it's a cigar.
Yes. As you're just sitting there. Yeah.
Just eyeballing. It's like Gran Torino.
Gran Torino?
Yeah, Torino. What did I say? Torino?
Gran Torino.
Oh, Torino. Where, did I say it wrong again?
No, it's the way you say it.
Okay. Where,
keeping you.
When Clint's sitting out on his porch and he spits his tobacco and he looks over at the Vietnamese woman and she spits her bigger spit of tobacco and he just like raises his eyebrows.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I want to be that kind of old person.
Yeah,
she looks back and kind of goes, oh. Oh yeah, see, exactly. That's how
that's how I envision you as a Clint Eastwood.
Yes,
that's complimentary. That's more complimentary than I would like to be.
Yeah, but
there's also the part though where you talk to an empty chair on stage. So I mean, it's just there's kind of the good and then the
crazy
Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
Oh, I'll take that crazy. I don't know. I wasn't in person. I was just something.
He was a mayor. Clint Eastwood was mayor of the town Carmel by the Sea in California.
Only California would have a name called Carmel.
Delicious. I'm planning to retire there.
With my marshmallows and yams. That's called a throwback.
Are you saying that for me? I know what a throwback is.
No, it was definitely for you.
I'm gonna go there with it's a land flowing with caramel. I'm on board with that. And by the sea? What more could I ask for? I would if I had a sea back behind my house.
Like it's your own personal sea?
Yeah, that's how I imagine it.
Yeah, okay.
This is mine. All of this and of this caramel.
Yeah. Caramel.
But it is actually spelled caramel. So I'm a little worried. There's a bit of a gamble on that because it's not spelled the appropriate way that you would spell the delicious treat caramel.
No, it's still caramel.
It's not.
Yeah.
It is not.
Pretentious people say caramel. You probably say Porsche too, don't you?
Old men
it's a Porsche.
On their porch say caramel. So take that. Actually, I did once ask. I was a valet at a hotel, and there was like a convention for
caramel.
No, we're not talking about caramel. We're talking about Porsches.
Oh,
keep up.
Okay.
There was like a Porsche convention.
Oh, okay.
And I asked the guy. He was a Porsche dealer. He said, "Which one is it? Is it Porsche or Porsche?" And he said, it's Porsche for those who don't own one, Porsche for those who do. I was like, oh, rules.
You're like, all right, give me your Porsche.
Yes, yeah, I can't call it a
Porsche.
No, I don't own one.
Yeah, well.
If only. They're nice cars.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not a fan?
I'm not a fan of Porsche.
I'm not saying there's not other cars.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I'm not. I think if I was to get an Italian car, it'd either be a Ferrari or a Alfa Romeo.
Oh yeah, Alfa Romeo.
Yeah,
like the Giulia.
Yeah. What?
That's what you would get, the Alfa Romeo Giulia. Yeah, they have that in the Stelvio.
What are you talking about?
How do you not know anything about Alfa Romeos if you want one so badly?
I didn't say I want one so badly.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I just said if I was
misinterpreted.
I would, I know that there's some out there that would be like Fiat. No.
Oh goodness, no.
It would either be the Alfa or the Ferrari.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Interesting. What Ferrari?
Ooh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know because I'm not like I don't know because I always see them and I'm like, oh, that's sweet, and then they start spouting out names and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
They all look the same.
It's a Ferrari.
Yeah, like, at that point, who cares what type, right?
Yeah, and they go into it and I'm just like, sweet. Still a Ferrari. That's like when people go, oh yeah, I have a Corvette. I'm like, all right, sweet. They're like, do you want to know what kind of Corvette? No, it looks like a Corvette. It's a Corvette.
Corvette, yeah. I remember one of the highlights of my life was when I was younger. I think I was probably, I don't know how old I was.
Wow, you're getting old. Forgetting ages.
Right. Back in my day. Depression era.
Which wasn't that long ago. Only they disguised it as a recession.
Yeah, I was just saying the Great Recession. An older guy from our church had a Corvette.
Oh, sure.
He let me drive it around the parking lot.
Wow.
When you're a young boy, and that's like the highlight of your life.
Well, hopefully you had your license.
I don't think I had my license. I think I had my permit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was capable of driving. Right?
Oh, sure.
But it was not like I was I can't see it. But yeah, let me drive it around the parking lot.
Nice. Did you like do a whoopee or?
Yeah, I left the whole. I took off with it on the road. And
no, I meant like.
Oh no.
Did you do like a burnout?
No, I didn't do any of that. No? I was very respectful.
So you drove it the speed limit in the parking lot?
Absolutely. I'm not going to abuse. I'm not going to abuse the authority.
Oh, this is sweet. I can really feel that air moving through my hair.
Would somebody let you drive their car and you burn out?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, it depends. Hold on. It depends. Well, first of all, did you drive it again?
No.
Okay. So that was the last time that they let you drive the Corvette too. Make the most of it, bro.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
This is a different time.
You got to sit back in it?
No. This is not that same vehicle.
Okay.
This was at the Valet again.
Oh, sure.
Okay. And there was a convention with police officers.
What? Okay.
A lot of conventions.
Apparently.
In town.
Why? Hold on. Why are police officers having a convention? Shouldn't they be out protecting and serving?
No? The criminals took a break that day.
Oh, okay.
It's the one day a year. It was the opposite of the purge.
Oh, okay. It was the unpurge?
It was the unpurge.
Okay.
Every criminal takes some time off. No crimes are committed.
No crimes. All right.
The self parking lot filled up.
Okay.
Because
a lot of people know where that is. It's in the South.
Self
parking. Okay.
So this state trooper pulled up and did valet, and I happened to be the valet.
You got to drive a cop car?
I got to drive the cop car.
Nice.
I took it out a little. He said I could. He was go ahead. He's like, yeah, try the sirens. Like, I didn't care. Technically, he was not supposed to do that.
He's like, yeah, you can hit the sirens.
That guy didn't
You're pulling people over. You're just like out there like, I'm here to protect and serve.
He had a shotgun on the rack there.
You walk up like you're a super trooper. You know what I stopped you for?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Well, crap. Neither do I.
I'm not sure either. I have no briefing on the law.
Thought you were just... It looked like you were going fast.
Your face bothers me?
Here's a ticket. I'm bringing this to court. The reasoning says face bothers me.
Here's my badge number. Yeah, that was a fun one. That's cop cars. Highly recommend driving one. Go
just test one.
Go find a cop and take his car.
There you go.
I'm not condoning that. I just want to throw that out there for legal reasons.
I worked at a Mercedes, Volvo, and VW dealership, which the VW always threw me off.
Yeah, why?
Because it was like really nice, and then VW. It's like couldn't go with Audi. It was like VW. Okay.
You don't think VWs are nice though?
But when you're like matched up with Mercedes,
yeah, that's fair.
It's like
because that is like
that, like the
that
clientele.
Is like you've got like a Lincoln, a Cadillac, and then a Chevrolet.
Yeah, exactly. Like the clientele for like Volvo and Mercedes is like all right, and then you get like the high school girl that just got her license that wants a Jetta.
And Jettas look so plain. I cannot get over how plain a Jetta looks. I mean, they're nice cars, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But whenever I see one driving down the road, I'm like, that is the plainest looking car. That is classic German right there.
You're like, wow, no one's going to steal that.
I understand that it'll last forever because of the fantastic German engineering. But that is the plainest looking
Germans
car.
A lot of credit.
Yeah, they do some good things.
Okay.
After a certain time.
So I worked there, and the Mercedes just got a fresh batch of cars in, and I was like, all right. And they're like, hey, can you go move some of these cars around? And I was like, sure. Oh yeah. And I got to jump into this one Mercedes. Well, I looked at the sticker price after I jumped into, or after I took it.
Probably a good idea
for a ride. It was $120,000.
American dollars?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That was not yen. It was American dollar. And I...
wasn't like pesos?
No. And I went very fast in it. And I was just like, oh, I'm so glad. Nothing. I mean, they had a big parking lot. So like I got it up to like 60 easily. Because it had a lot of...
that probably wouldn't take a lot of time.
I was just like, oh yeah, and then
basically drag race.
That
point, yeah.
And then I got out and I looked at it. I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to start doing that with like the VWs because I could maybe pay that off in my lifetime. Yeah. I don't want to pass this debt on to my children because it's as much as a house.
Mercedes are something else. Those are fantastic cars. I got to drive a couple of those too.
Also,
the valet was nice because I got to drive cars that I would never be able to drive ever in my life. I didn't work at the high-end hotel, which was a bummer because they got the primo. But I got some nice cars.
Ferrari.
Too. A lot of Teslas, which are actually nice to drive.
Okay.
They're just fun technologically. Like they feel
you like jump in. You're like Captain. Take us to warp speed.
Like when you approach it and you have the key fob, like, the door pops open automatically. And then as you're walking by the door, like I had to, you're parked, so you got to scooch between the door and another car.
Yeah.
It'll go in.
Scooch? How close were you parking these cars?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You had to turn sideways, but slide across some hoods.
We have to get past it, right, to get into it. It'll automatically sense you, and it'll close, and then it'll reopen as you get past it.
Oh, it's a polite car.
It's very, very gentlemanly.
Yeah.
So I don't care what you say about Tesla and electric cars, whatever. There's plenty to say about how crappy they are.
Gives you a little pat as you walk by.
Oh. Thank you.
You have to give it a little pat when you walk by, too.
That's what it does. But there's something really technologically cool about them, and you have like the whole gigantic display on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. You're like typing in your coordinates.
Yeah, like everything has a control in it. Like you can individually control so many things. Very impressive.
And then
again, electric cars are a waste. If you want to be like Ford and waste $4.5 billion on them, go for it. That's your call. But the Tesla's a pretty cool automobile.
Yeah. Thank you, Musk.
Say what you will.
No, I'm just...
And there's plenty to say. But yeah, that's... so I didn't get to drive the really top end, but some Mercedes came through.
I mean, I did get to drive a couple nice cars when I worked at that dealership.
Well, you get the Mercedes. Yeah. What did you get to drive some Volvos?
Yeah.
Yep. Are those nice?
Yeah, they're really nice. Yeah, they're nice. They do have a little bit of a kick to them, but like some of them had nice get up and go. Some of them did feel like they dragged a little bit. I did have somebody come in one time with a Ford Mustang GT, and I was like, I was sitting there thinking to myself, please let me drive this. Please let me drive this. Please let me drive this. And the lady steps out and goes, hey, can you pull this around so I can get an oil change? And I was like, yes, I can.
Oh, you better believe it.
I jumped in, and it was a manual. Oh. And I was like, oh, I hope they have me test drive this even further. I just, I looked at her. I was like, you might not get this back. And I said that to her. And she goes, that's okay. Do you want to buy it? I was like, yes, but I can't afford it.
I work here.
Yeah, exactly.
I work for people who can afford these.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Going back to the clientele difference. So when you jump into a VW, and if you have a VW and I offend you with this, change your radio stations. It was like all music. All like pop or whatever.
That makes sense because they're usually high school girls.
Exactly. And then I jumped into like the Volvo, and that was like a little bit more like maybe like classic rock, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
I jump into a lot of the Mercedes. It was NPR.
So, really? Yes. I would have expected that from the Volvo.
No, a lot of NPR in the Mercedes. I was like, the difference amazing. Between the people that own these cars that come to the same dealership is just like, whoa, all right.
That's fun. Okay. Yeah. You get a little social experiment there.
It was so funny jumping in and just being able to hear who listened to what. You could just tell, like, oh, yeah, this is why you drive this.
Oh, you're smart.
Yeah. That's why I don't have anything dialed into my radio. So that when people jump in, they're like, what does he listen to?
Nobody knows.
Yeah, I always have it off. They're like, he's a mysterious bird.
This guy, we can't lock him down.
Exactly.
I like it. That's a good idea.
Or I have things locked in that are like all over the place. Like one Christian, like NPR, and then another news that combats NPR, and then I have like classical and then hard rock.
You got Fox News Radio. You got
They're like, whoa, this guy's so tuned in. He's so well rounded. And meanwhile, I just get all my stuff off my phone.
Yeah, you didn't even listen to the radio.
No. Take it, suckers.
You keep them guessing.
Exactly.
I like it. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Don't try to figure me out. You won't. I'm a Rubik's Cube. You can't figure this out.
That's what we refer to you as, actually. Usually, yes, the Rubik's Cube. The office of Rubik's Cube.
You know somebody's gonna email this show and be like, the Rubik's Cube can be figured out in 3 seconds.
Yeah, but not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, well, I just told everybody.
Yeah, you just. Yeah.
I did not.
Worth a shot. This is.
I'm like an onion. I have a lot of layers.
This is why you don't drive a Mercedes. As we just established. But you can drive a manual.
I can.
Well done. I remember one of the prerequisites.
What?
Provocavics? One of the prerequisites for
did you lie?
Valet work. No, I can drive a manual. Was driving a
manual.
Now you can. But I was one of two who could.
Okay.
And so all the other guys, when a manual would come up, they'd get in the car, and all of a sudden they'd see him get back out, be like, you want to take this one? Like, okay, it's a manual, of course.
Oh, that's hilarious.
John, who I worked with as a valet, also can drive a manual.
Yeah, all right.
I think his current car is the actual one.
I actually, when I was learning to drive, my mom had a manual. Jetta, actually.
We've come full circle.
So I learned on the manual Jetta, and I absolutely I told my wife that the next vehicle I get is going to be a manual. Of course, I'd have to get a foreign because apparently Americans are really lazy with. I can't switch a gear.
What? I don't blame them. I mean, automatic is far and away easier.
It's easier, but it's not as fun.
No, it's not. And when you learn the manual, it's fun to drive. But it's also, it can be a pain sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, especially some hills.
Yeah.
I learned going up hills.
Yeah, oh yeah. And, uphill on an icy road, I could understand why people maybe wouldn't want that all the time.
Right.
But I learned on a 1980s Dodge Dakota. Ooh. My grandfather had. He taught me. He picked me up from school, and just in the school parking lot, he taught me every time he picked me up to
and that was a giant parking lot that you could drive around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went all over.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of real estate to drive through.
I bet you 2 laps around that parking lot, you could have done a mile almost.
Yeah, and you also had different terrain too. There were hills.
Yeah.
You got to experience a diverse amount of driving environment.
You just had to look out for the light posts. You're all good.
There were a lot of those. Dodge them. Okay. So that's how I learned.
There you go. Yeah. I love a manual. So
there's something about it.
Not e-manual, but a manual.
Oh, you don't love a manual?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's weird. I try to like him, but
it's Hispanic. What are you gonna do?
But send him to a city that is a sanctuary. Too soon. Okay. No, but I like it just because it keeps you engaged, especially when you're doing city driving. You're just like, oh, gotta shift. Of course, when you get to the highway, it doesn't really. It kind of as soon as you hit the top gear, you're essentially in an automatic. You're just coasting.
It's tough to text and do stuff, when you're driving a manual. That's the only downside to it.
No, it's not.
Oh,
I used to do it all the time.
Just making a joke. You shouldn't do that in general.
What?
Brent.
Drive?
No, text and drive.
Oh, pish posh.
Yeah,
pish posh. You know what? If Tesla drivers and police officers can have literal computers in their vehicles and use them while they drive, I can text.
No, you can't use them while you drive. I think only police are allowed to do that.
Okay, the prevailers of the law can literally use a computer. But it's not texting and driving.
Just trying to answer my emails here.
I was typing in your license plate. Well, you got a good view of it as you smashed into the back of me. So
you mouthing off to me?
Maybe you should put down the keypad and pay attention to driving.
Yeah, they have like laptops.
Yeah,
in the car.
I know. But I mean, a Tesla screen is 13 inches plus.
Yeah, they're big. But most of them, like I know a lot of cars, you can't actually operate some things while you're in motion.
Oh, okay.
And the car's in gear.
But what if you go into autopilot?
Well, then that's a good question because I think actually the law is you can't still do it because you have to still be paying attention. Because like most things, technology lets us down yet again.
Yeah. Well, I just, and you know what? To each their own.
Brent would be pulled over for reading a newspaper.
Yes, I would. Or a magazine. I'm not strictly newspaper.
Oh, okay, just paper.
Yeah. I just like how the people that really pushed for it, Oprah Winfrey, have drivers. So they can text all they want in their vehicle because somebody else is driving them around. Some of us don't get that luxury. We have things.
Are you actually adopting the pro texting while driving side of the argument?
Okay. You know what? No, I'm not. But the next time you go through a fast food window, don't eat and drive.
Actually, that one's I agree with that. Actually,
you want to start throwing out stupidity
unless you're eating a delicious Crunchwrap Supreme, which is very driving and eating friendly because it's wrapped up so neatly. They've done great work.
Because you don't bite into one end and out the other end comes everything else.
You're not losing stuff. No, it's all hanging together. Those wizards over at Taco Bell have crafted the perfect food.
You know what? I actually brought that argument up with somebody once, and they go, well, you're not supposed to eat and drive. I'm like, okay, why do they have drive-thrus? Well, you're supposed to pick up the food and then bring it home. Are you dense? Like, who? Like, even if you were on your way home, you're not going to wait until you get home to eat the food.
Those fries aren't sitting there the whole drive home.
That's not how it works. That's why the drive-thru wasn't invented. It was so that you could do it quicker and get your food and just eat while you travel.
Yeah, nobody picks it up and takes it home
or
to eat.
No one picks it up and waits in the parking lot and sits in the parking lot and just goes, you know what, I'm going to eat this while I'm sitting still.
I shouldn't eat this while I'm driving. But I mean, really, they shouldn't. Most people have a tough time driving while driving. So
that is the truth.
So I mean, let's add some more things in for them to do while they're driving.
Can you change the radio? Can you change the podcast? Can you do this? Can you do? What terrifies me is ladies. I have
just ladies on the road.
Yeah, just ladies on the road.
Ladies in general terrify.
I swerve around their vehicles. No, I have still seen ladies doing their makeup while driving.
Yes, that is distressing.
And I'm like, but we can't text and drive. You're gonna stab your eyeball with your mascara and not see. But me going, love you too. Okay, to each their own, I guess. I mean, even drinking hot coffee while driving is a hazard.
You watch your mouth.
I said it's a hazard. Doesn't mean I don't
told
do
you
it.
to watch your mouth.
I do it.
I told you, and I hope you spill on yourself next time.
No.
Maybe you can sue McDonald's, get some money.
No, because most of the time I bring it from home.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Babe, I have to sue you now. I burnt myself with hot coffee.
Made the coffee too hot. This cup did not have a caution sticker on it.
Exactly.
I didn't know how hot it was going to be.
Exactly. But I mean, there's both sides of the argument. People would be like, well, just wait in the parking lot and eat. Well, the reason I went through the drive-thru is if I wanted to wait there and eat, I would have went inside.
Who says only weirdos sit in the parking lot of a fast food place and eat the food? If you're going to sit in the parking lot, just go in, get a table and eat.
Exactly. I don't know.
You have to be a lonely person to do that. Just saying.
What is the lowest? Oh, this fry's good.
Here I am eating around all my friends.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm not advocating for texting and driving, though, but...
It definitely sounded like you were. You were taking the texting and driving.
On the other hand, it's like we do everything else while we drive, so...
But I like your thing. You're like, well, we do it anyways. Let's just legalize it all.
Well, don't be stupid. Like, if you're in an argument with somebody, pull over, write your novel, hit send, and go. But I'm not, like, if you're like, love you, like, a lot of that's auto text. Autocorrect, auto text, whatever.
Autofill?
Autofill? There we go. We'll go with that one, too. Any one of your autos.
We are at the end now that we get to wrap up on a Brent's rant there about
it's not really a rant,
why you should be able to text and drive.
Yeah, text and drive. Do it. It's safe.
Oh, goodness.
If you get into a car accident, you can sue Ross.
I don't have any money. We went over this.
I'll give you his email.
I have nothing
right now. I have nothing. You got that sweet van.
Don't you take my... We talked about this. It just got the check engine light to go off with that miracle puddle.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet.
I'm still waiting for the ABS light to go off, though.
You need to start pumping them through that puddle. People are watching you.
Just forward, back. Come on!
Really, it's just a code like playing a video game. You just have to hit it right.
Right combination.
Yeah.
Reverse, neutral, reverse, drive. Brake. 3.
Brake, gas, yeah. Park. Yes!
It did it!
You missed one, though. You have to start all over.
Yeah, you got to get it just right.
And you have a chance of turning on another light.
I like, specifically about my vehicle, is that when I turn on the right blinker, the left blinker comes on. When I turn on the when I go to do like the windshield washer,
sure, yeah,
it doesn't do that. The bright lights come on.
You really have a code for your vehicle, don't you?
I don't know how to speak it.
Throw that owner's manual out because it makes no sense.
They don't have it correct.
They have no idea what they're talking about.
They don't know this vehicle at all. Did they even make it?
Oh, my goodness. On that note, until next week, we hope to hear from you in between time. But in the meantime, you can get at us on X/Twitter.
It was so poetic.
Thank you. At Menacing Podcast. Hit us up on Facebook, Menacing Podcast. If you have anything to say, share your thoughts, your lovely words of admiration, you can send those to the Menacing Podcast at gmail.com. And you know what? Look for the podcast and share it with anybody, because we are on all platforms: Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes. Hit us up, review the show, give us some stars. At least 5. I think you can give more, but at least 5. And until next week, stay weird.